Good morning, students. So, today again we'll continue with the same chapter that we were doing in the previous two classes, and we talked about firstly, we talked about the basic structure of DNA, then we talked about how the recombination in DNA occurs, that was through the transformation process, then how Hershey and Chase discovered that DNA is the true genetic material. Then we talked about the semi-conservative mode of replication. Then we talked how protein was not the genetic material by using radioactive sulfur and radioactive phosphorus. Then lastly we talk about the complete process of how replication occurs, because having the power of replication was a major criteria for saying something that it is a genetic or true genetic material. So DNA showed this property, and then we talked about this property in detail also. So now we talked about central dogma. What was that? How DNA was converted to mRNA, or the messenger RNA, by the process known as transcription, and that mRNA was again translated into proteins, different proteins. So this was the central dogma. And we have done the replication, that was DNA forming itself. Now the second step in that will be transcription, in which DNA will be responsible for the formation of messenger RNA. So now talking about the mechanism of transcription. So the process of transcription takes place by, these are the three major enzymes and as well as materials that are required for the process of transcription to occur. One is DNA helicase. About it we also talked in the case of DNA replication, how DNA helicase was responsible for breaking the hydrogen bonds between bases and making or unwinding the DNA double strand and making it single stranded DNA from one double strand DNA. Then RNA polymerase second. We talked about polymerase also. In that we talked about DNA polymerase, because we were wanting to create more DNA bases, so that there will be an increase in length of the DNA, and that was the new strand that was formed. So जो new strand में polymerase DNA polymerase use करके we added new bases, so that the new strand जो हम लोग बना रहे हैं उसकी length बढ़ जाए. और same case in the case of transcription also, RNA polymerase is used, or it is used for the formation of new bases in the case of RNA, because transcription is the process of formation of RNA from DNA. तो यहाँ पे हम लोग को RNA bases बनाना है और वहाँ पे हम लोग को DNA bases बनाने थे. Then the third thing is ribonucleotides. So ribonucleotides, again it is the RNA itself that is used for the process of transcription. Now ribonucleoside. I told you the difference between tides, nucleotides and nucleoside. When the phosphoric acid is being removed from the nucleotides and only the sugar backbone along with the nitrogenous bases are left, it is called a nucleoside. So in the case of RNA, it is called ribonucleoside. So ribonucleoside monophosphate, it is an enzyme which activates into ribonucleoside triphosphate by enzyme phosphorylase enzyme. Phosphorylase, again it means that it is ase word is used for breaking down something, so it is removing the phosphorus group, that's why the name phosphorylase and phosphoric acid. तो अब ये जब राइबोन्यूक्लियोसाइड मोनोफॉस्फेट एक्टिवेट होता है, और ये एक्टिवेट किस में होता है, राइबोन्यूक्लियोसाइड ट्राइफॉस्फेट. तो मोनो मीन्स ओनली वन ATP, ओनली वन फॉस्फेट, देन कन्वर्टेड टू ट्राइफॉस्फेट. तो यहाँ पे वी हैव नाउ 3 फॉस्फेट ग्रुप्स. तो क्या बनता है इससे, ATP एडिनोसिन ट्राइफॉस्फेट. अगर ये राइबोन्यूक्लियोसाइड मोनोफॉस्फेट एक्टिवेट नहीं होता इनटू राइबोन्यूक्लियोसाइड ट्राइफॉस्फेट में, तो यहाँ AMP होता, दैट इज एडिनोसिन मोनोफॉस्फेट, बट नाउ इट इज एडिनोसिन ट्राइफॉस्फेट, guanosine ट्राइफॉस्फेट, यूरेसिल ट्राइफॉस्फेट. एंड इन द केस ऑफ replication we talked about the TTP, that was thymine triphosphate, because there was the base that was thymine used and there was absence of the base uracil. That's the major difference in the case of DNA and RNA. In the RNA, uracil is present instead of thymine. So here we have uracil triphosphate and cytosine triphosphate is formed. Now this is the complete process along with the diagram. So first we'll talk about the theory, then I'll explain it to you with the help of this diagram also. So how does transcription begins? Transcription begins by uncoiling of DNA at specific site called the promoter region of cistron. Cistron और इंट्रॉन ये सब क्या होते हैं दैट आई विल टेल यू, बट फर्स्ट लर्न दिस कि एक रीजन होता है, एक स्पेसिफिक रीजन होता है दैट कुड बी ऑफ अराउंड 4-5 बेसिस और 10 बेसिस से फॉर 10 बेसिस एक रीजन एक डीएनए स्ट्रैंड में हम लोग ने इतना मान लिया, दिस कैन बी सेड टू बी एज द प्रोमोटर रीजन. तो जो ट्रांसक्रिप्शन होता है वो एक पर्टिकुलर रीजन से बिगिन होता है एंड दैट वी कॉल्ड एज द प्रोमोटर बिकॉज इट इज़ प्रोमोटिंग समथिंग. ट्रांसक्रिप्शन यहाँ से प्रमोट हो रहा है, दैट्स व्हाई इट इज़ कॉल्ड एज द प्रोमोटर रीजन. तो वहाँ पे अनकॉइलिंग होती है डीएनए की. अनकॉइलिंग किससे होगी? अगेन विद द हेल्प ऑफ डीएनए हेलिकेज. तो यहाँ डीएनए हेलिकेज विल बी यूज्ड और ये जो डबल स्ट्रैंडेड है डीएनए इट विल बी ब्रोकन डाउन इनटू 2 सिंगल स्ट्रैंडेड एंड अनकॉइलिंग विल बी देयर. Now it takes place by DNA helicase. Now the next thing, RNA polymerase second recognizes and binds to the promoter sequence. अब RNA polymerase का यूज़ होता है. The second enzyme that we talked about was RNA polymerase. तो अपने promoter region को recognize करने का काम कौन करता है? The second enzyme that is RNA polymerase second. और ये recognize करता है the region which is being uncoiled. अगर coiling रहेगी तो जो RNA polymerase होता है ये recognize नहीं कर पाता है. So the presence of the uncoiling is a marker that RNA polymerase second will recognize that site और ये promoter region पे bind कर जाता है. Now what happens? RNA polymerase 2 synthesize RNA. So that DNA polymerase was synthesizing DNA and elongating the chain of DNA. Or same work is of RNA polymerase second. It is synthesizing RNA and the direction will be always from the 5' direction to the 3' direction. Directions are very important. Now hence among 2 strands of DNA, one strand 3' to 5' and acts as a template. तो अब जब भी हम लोग को नया स्ट्रैंड बनाते हैं फ्रॉम एन ओल्ड स्ट्रैंड, तो अगर हम लोग के पास हम लोग को डायरेक्शन पता है कि इस डायरेक्शन में ही बनना है, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल यहाँ हम लोग को पता है कि RNA polymerase ऑलवेज सिंथेसाइजेस इन 5' to 3' डायरेक्शन. तो वी ऑल्सो नो कि एंटी पैरेलल द स्ट्रैंड्स आर ऑलवेज एंटी पैरेलल. तो द टेम्पलेट विल बी यूज ऑफ ऑपोजिट नेचर और ऑपोजिट पोलैरिटी. सो यहाँ पे जो हम लोग टेम्पलेट स्ट्रैंड यूज़ करेंगे दैट विल बी ऑफ 3' to 5' एंड देन ओनली द सिंथेसिस ऑफ RNA विल बी टेक प्लेस फ्रॉम 5' to 3'. दिस इज द कोडिंग स्ट्रैंड एंड दिस इज द टेम्पलेट स्ट्रैंड. सो ये टेम्पलेट स्ट्रैंड विल नॉट चेंज. व्हाट विल बी द चेंज इन दिस विल बी द चेंज. यहाँ पे चेंज होगा क्योंकि 5' to 3' में चेंजेस होते हैं. ये हम लोग ने ये पहले बाइंड थे आपस में, कोइल्ड स्टेट में थे, अब ये डीएनए हेलिकेज इन पे हम लोग ने जब यूज़ किया तो दैट विल बी इन ओपन फॉर्म एंड नो मोर कोइल्ड. तो ये जो है दिस विल बी ट्रांसक्रिप्टेड एंड ट्रांसक्रिप्शन विल मेक श्योर दैट दिस ऑल द थायमीन विल बी चेंज टू द यूरेसिल बिकॉज देर इज़ नो थायमीन प्रेजेंट इन द केस ऑफ RNA. तो क्या हुआ, ये सेम रहेगा बिकॉज इट इज़ द टेम्पलेट स्ट्रैंड. तो अब इसके जो कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री बेसिस हैं दैट विल बी इन द न्यू RNA strand that is changed from DNA. This is the coding DNA strand और यहाँ से change होके it is in the RNA form and this is the process of transcription conversion of the DNA to RNA. तो for C the complementary base is G, for G the complementary base is C, for T it is thymine, it is adenine, and for again cytosine it is guanine, for A it is T but it is RNA, therefore for adenine it will be uracil in the place of thymine. So this is how it works, always in the 5' to 3' direction. Now this is the complete diagram, how the various enzymes are being used and how the RNA is formed. तो कहाँ से start होता है? This is first of all it is unwinding. ठीक है, यहाँ से unwinding होती है by the enzyme. The what is the enzyme used? It is DNA helicase. तो unwinding हुआ तो यहाँ पे it is now not in the coiled form, again it is broken down. तो अब ये coiled form में नहीं है और ये खुल चुके हैं. अब जो नेक्स्ट एंजाइम यूज होगा दैट विल बी RNA polymerase. RNA polymerase रिकॉग्नाइज करेगा ये रीजन एंड इट विल स्टार्ट टू फॉर्म न्यू RNA and this will be in the direction of 5' to 3'. तो ये जो ग्रीन कलर से है that is RNA and blue strand are for DNA. So this is the RNA DNA hybrid. क्योंकि एक स्ट्रैंड यहाँ डीएनए का है और एक स्ट्रैंड यहाँ आरएनए का है, इट इज़ अ हाइब्रिड. हाइब्रिड इज़ द फ्यूजन ऑफ टू डिफरेंट थिंग्स. So that's why it is a hybrid, and this is called complete structure called as the transcription bubble because it is uncoiled, and there because of being uncoiled इसका जो एरिया होता है वो बढ़ जाता है. It forms a bubble form. So that's why it is called the transcription bubble because यहाँ पे transcription is going on. So template strand, it will be the template strand in the 3' to 5' direction. अब यहाँ पे सब हो गया, complete RNA बन गया. Now rewinding again हो जाती है and again the complete process continues. So the direction of the transcription will be always in the 5' to 3' direction, 5' to 3' direction. This is how it works. Now the complementary base for template strand pairs to transcribe mRNA, that is the messenger RNA, when the RNA polymerase reaches the termination point. तो एक पॉइंट आता है जहाँ पे RNA फर्दर नहीं बन सकता और इट इज़ नो मोर रिक्वायर्ड ऑल्सो. तो आरएनए पॉलीमरेज को हटाना पड़ता है. और व्हाट इज़ द मार्कर दैट इज़ रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दिस? सिंथेसिस ऑफ आरएनए स्टॉप्स अप. तो एक एंडिंग पॉइंट यहाँ पे आता है कि हाँ नाउ कंप्लीट आरएनए बन चुका है फ्रॉम डीएनए, ट्रांसक्रिप्शन कंप्लीट हो चुका है, नाउ इट हैज़ टू बी रिमूव्ड. तो न्यूली सिंथेसाइज जो एमआरएनए होता है इन यूकैरियोटिक, इट इज़ कॉल्ड एचएनआरएनए और हेट्रोजीनस आरएनए, and it undergoes post transcription process by splicing. तो splicing क्या होता है? Splicing is a very important process which is only in the case of eukaryotes. यहाँ पे introns, these are being removed. Introns are the regions which are not involving in the case of translation. So translation is the formation of protein. So introns are those areas in the RNA that have to be removed for the translation to proceed. That's why splicing means cutting off the introns. It is done for saying that yes, now the mRNA is completely formed. And the newly formed or newly synthesized mRNA is also called as heterogeneous RNA. The eukaryotic mRNA, it contains exons and introns, and in introns, in the splicing, introns are removed and exons are joined in a definite order. So this is what splicing means, and it is only occurring in the case of eukaryotes. So now you can it is very clear that अगर ये सिर्फ eukaryotes में हो रही है splicing, so that means कि prokaryote का जो RNA होगा it will be of a longer length as compared to the eukaryotes, because यहाँ पे कोई भी चीज़ नहीं हटाई जा रही है. That's why length of RNA in the case of prokaryotes is more as compared to eukaryotes. Now heterogeneous RNA जो अभी हम लोग ने बनाया है, it will undergo additional processing called as capping and tailing. तो अभी भी इसमें कुछ मॉडिफिकेशंस करने बाकी हैं. जो हेटेरोजेनियस आरएनए बन चुका है आफ्टर स्प्लाइसिंग के बाद भी जो है कैपिंग में क्या होता है? इन कैपिंग एन अनयूजुअल न्यूक्लियोटाइड दैट इज मिथाइल ग्वानोसिन ट्राइफॉस्फेट इज एडेड टू द 5' एंड. तो 3' हम लोग को पता है कि 2 एंड है यहाँ पे, 5' एंड एंड 3' एंड. इसी डायरेक्शन में सिंथेसिस भी हुआ है ऑफ द न्यू mRNA. तो इट इज़ कॉल्ड एज द हेटेरोजेनियस आरएनए. तो यहाँ पर क्या होता है? कैपिंग मीन्स अब जो 5' एंड होता है उसका कैप, मतलब we always put cap on our head, so that is the anterior region. तो सेम कैपिंग वहाँ होती है जहाँ से कोई चीज़ शुरू होती है और टेलिंग वहाँ जहाँ कोई चीज़ ख़त्म हो रही है. तो कैपिंग मीन्स एक न्यूक्लियोटाइड दैट इज़ अनयूजुअल न्यूक्लियोटाइड मिथाइल ग्वानोसिन ट्राइफॉस्फेट वहाँ पे अटैच कर दिया जाता है. और टेलिंग में दैट इज वो होती है 3' एंड पे, क्योंकि इट इज़ द मोस्ट पोस्टीरियर एंड, तो वहाँ पे एडिनाइलेट रेसिड्यूज़ लगा दिए जाते हैं. एंड इट इज़ अकरिंग इन एन टेम्पलेट इंडिपेंडेंट मैनर, मतलब इसका टेम्पलेट जो हम लोग के पास प्रेजेंट है डीएनए का उससे कोई रिलेशन नहीं है. इट इज़ अकरिंग इन अ टेम्पलेट इंडिपेंडेंट मैनर. तो जो भी हम लोग एडिनाइलेट रेसिड्यूज़ और कैपिंग कर रहे हैं 5' एंड पे और 3' एंड पे टेलिंग कर रहे हैं, उसका कोई रिलेशन टेम्पलेट स्ट्रैंड से नहीं है. नाउ फुली प्रोसेस्ड एचएनआरएनए अब जब बन गया हम लोग का आफ्टर स्प्लाइसिंग, कैपिंग, टेलिंग, नाउ वी हैव अ फुली प्रोसेस्ड heterogeneous RNA, and now we can call it mRNA, that is messenger RNA, and it is transported out of the nucleus for the translation. तो what does that mean कि ट्रांसक्रिप्शन हम लोग का न्यूक्लियस में होता है और ट्रांसलेशन के लिए we have to go to the cytoplasm. This is in the case of eukaryote. Prokaryotes में क्या होता है? जो ट्रांसक्रिप्शन होता है that occurs in the cytoplasm itself, और हम लोग वी हैव सीन दैट ट्रांसक्रिप्शन हो गया उसके बाद ट्रांसलेशन स्टार्ट होगा, क्योंकि उसमें बहुत सारी हम लोग को प्रोसेसिंग करनी है टू कंप्लीट completely called it as the messenger RNA. But I told you prokaryotes में कोई splicing और methylation of the 5 prime end या tailing नहीं होती है. That's why उसमें साथ साथ translation भी होता जाता है. So that process is called as co-translation, and in this it is called as post-transcription translation, and it is called as co-transcriptional translation. Co means साथ में transcription translation भी हो रहा है, और post मतलब after transcription is completed, only and only then translation will start. Now क्या बना? Messenger RNA or the mRNA. So what is the messenger RNA? It is the RNA that carries messages from the DNA to the RNA and also to the site of protein synthesis. So it represents about 5 to 10% of the total RNA of the cell. तो mRNA ज़्यादा अमाउंट में नहीं होता है, इट इज़ ओनली अबाउट 5 to 10%, बट द मेजर वर्क जो होता है mRNA का, इट इज़ मेनली फॉर प्रोवाइडिंग मैसेजेस फ्रॉम द DNA एंड टू द साइट ऑफ प्रोटीन सिंथेसिस. व्हाट इज द साइट ऑफ प्रोटीन सिंथेसिस? द साइटोप्लाज्म. तो ये जो भी मैसेजेस DNA से होते हैं, मैसेंजर RNA, इट वर्क्स इन सेंडिंग दैट मैसेजेस टू द साइटोप्लाज्म, and it carries the genetic information in the form of triplet codons. What is a codon? I'll tell you later on. First, let's discuss mRNA only. So mRNA is a single-stranded polynucleotide chain. Single-stranded means it is having only one strand, because दूसरा strand जो है वो DNA का है, which तो only one strand we have made of the RNA, or it is a polynucleotide chain, means many nucleotides are combined together to form this single strand chain. That's why it is a single-stranded polynucleotide chain. The eukaryotic mRNA contains a cap at the 5 prime end composed of 7-methyl guanosine, and it is absent in the prokaryotic mRNA. I told you that it is absent in prokaryotes. So next to the cap, it has non-coding region called the leader sequences. तो एक पूरा सीक्वेंस प्रेजेंट होता है. फर्स्ट जो सीक्वेंस होता है दैट इज़ कैपिंग. यूकैरियोटिक mRNA की हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे, तो वो कैपिंग है. कैपिंग पे क्या होता है? वी हैव 7-methyl guanosine. फिर आफ्टर कैपिंग द सेकेंड थिंग दैट कम्स इज द लीडर सीक्वेंस, दैट इज़ नॉन कोडिंग. मतलब नॉन कोडिंग मीन्स यहाँ से कोई भी कोडॉन्स नहीं बनते हैं दैट आर यूज फॉर प्रोटीन सिंथेसिस और ट्रांसलेशन. तो दिस इज़ द लीडर सीक्वेंस और द नॉन कोडिंग रीजन. और इसके बाद स्टार्ट होता है एक इनिशिएटर कोडॉन विच इज़ AUG. सो वी हैव one initiator codon, it is AUG, and we have 3 termination codons also that we'll talk about later on. So it initiate the protein synthesis. Leader कैपिंग निकल गई. फर्स्ट सीक्वेंस जहाँ पे 7-methyl guanosine लगा था. सेकेंड लीडर सीक्वेंस जहाँ कोई भी प्रोटीन सिंथेसिस नहीं हो रहा था, दैट्स वाई इट वाज द नॉन कोडिंग रीजन. अब नॉन कोडिंग रीजन के बाद जो सेकंड रीजन आया दैट वाज द कोडिंग सीक्वेंस, और उसमें पहला जो इनिशिएटर कोडॉन था इट वाज AUG. सो इनिशिएशन कोडॉन इज AUG, और यहाँ से प्रोटीन सिंथेसिस स्टार्ट होती है. अब क्या प्रेजेंट होता है नेक्स्ट टू द, इन द डायग्राम यू कैन सी कैप, लीडर सीक्वेंस, नॉन कोडिंग रीजन, इनिशिएशन कोडॉन. यहाँ से हमारा ट्रांसलेशन या प्रोटीन फॉर्मेशन स्टार्ट हुआ. ये कोडिंग सीक्वेंस है और ये नॉन कोडिंग सीक्वेंस है. सो अब नेक्स्ट टू द इनिशिएशन कोडॉन द कोडिंग सीक्वेंस इज प्रेजेंट. इट कोड्स फॉर स्पेसिफिक प्रोटीन and it is called as exon. तो हम लोग ने इंट्रॉन तो रिमूव कर दिए हैं, only exons we have, so that's why those specific regions which are responsible for coding protein are called exons, or introns don't do this, that's why they are being removed in the process that was known as splicing. So next to the terminator codon, terminator codon कौन से होता है? I told you there are 3 termination codon, UAA, UGA, UAG. अब इनमें से कोई भी मिल गया अगर, और वाइल द प्रोसेस ऑफ ट्रांसलेशन या कोडिंग के फॉर्मेशन, कोडिंग के दौरान अगर हम लोग में इनमें से कोई भी एक हमको मिल जाता है, देन उसी टाइम पे द टर्मिनेशन ऑफ प्रोटीन सिंथेसिस अकर्स, और नाउ प्रोटीन इज़ कम्प्लीटली फॉर्म्ड, और वो अपना टारगेट सीक्वेंस, टारगेट एरिया पे चला जाता है. टारगेटिंग इज़ अ डिफरेंट केस, डिफरेंट थिंग that is not in your syllabus, but now we can see AUG अगर मिला, इनिशिएशन स्टार्ट, इनमें से कोई भी एक मिला तो टर्मिनेशन और प्रोटीन विल बी रिमूव फ्रॉम दिस एंड विल बी रीच टू द टारगेट एरिया. टारगेट एरिया मतलब जहाँ उस प्रोटीन की ज़रूरत है वो वहाँ पे चला जाएगा. नेक्स्ट टू दिस अगेन नॉन कोडिंग रीजन इज प्रेजेंट. अगेन दिस इज द नॉन कोडिंग रीजन, एंड इन यूकैरियोटिक mRNA पॉली ए टेल इज रिप्रेजेंट एट द 3 प्राइम एंड. तो यहाँ पॉली ए टेल है. सो ये कंप्लीट सीक्वेंस हो गया हम लोग का mRNA का. क्या होता है mRNA में? 5 प्राइम पे कैप होती है, लीडर सीक्वेंस होते हैं जिनमें कोई भी कोडिंग रीजन्स नहीं प्रेजेंट होते हैं, फिर AUG होता है इनिशिएशन कोडॉन जहाँ से प्रोटीन फॉर्मेशन हमारा स्टार्ट होता है, यहाँ पे प्रोटीन चलता रहता है पूरा कोडिंग एरिया में जितना भी है, फिर ये हमें एक टर्मिनेशन कोडॉन मिल गया, तो यहाँ पे ख़त्म प्रोटीन, यहाँ से प्रोटीन निकल के अपने टारगेट एरिया पे चला जाएगा। फिर अगेन एक नॉन कोडिंग रीजन होता है, दैट इज़ ट्रेलर। सो now this is the poly A tail which is present at the 3 prime end, and again this is for the protection purpose. तो 5 prime capping and tailing ये protection purpose के लिए होते हैं mRNA के। यूकैरियोटिक mRNA को protecting from any damage we have capping and tailing process. अब rRNA, what are the functions of rRNA? rRNA helps in binding of ribosome to mRNA. We all know ribosomes are the main area or the main parts where the process of translation, that is protein synthesis occurs. So अब RNA का क्या main purpose है? For binding those ribosomes to the mRNA, और जब mRNA और ribosome bind होंगे तभी protein synthesis will start. So ribosomes and mRNA binding will be done or facilitated by the ribosomal RNA. So ribosome acts as an enzyme also sometimes, that is ribozymes, and it helps in the formation of peptide bond during protein synthesis. We know that two proteins are joined together by peptide bonds, like two amino acids are joined together by peptide bonds and one protein is formed. So for the formation of this peptide bond also एक enzyme use होता है, that is ribozymes, and for the ribozymes this rRNA is used. This is the structure of a ribosome, a very complex structure. Like this is the larger subunit, this is the small subunit, and it is central pertubase, that is a outgrowth present in the central area, and this is, you can see it is a more complex diagram. So this is the structure of a ribosome. It is made up of two subunits, larger subunit and smaller subunit, and it is divided into some Svedberg's unit, that is different in eukaryotes and different in prokaryotes. Now talking about the difference between DNA and RNA, what is the difference? Main difference is DNA has a high molecular weight, whereas RNA is of low molecular weight. DNA again it is a double-stranded polynucleotide chain, and RNA is single-stranded polynucleotide chain. Deoxyribose sugar is a pentose sugar, and ribose sugar is the ribose sugar. In this ribose sugar is present, and in this deoxyribose, that's why the difference in the name, mainly because of the presence of the type of sugar in it, deoxyribose sugar, and in this ribose sugar. इनमें thymine होता है, and in this uracil is present. In this any unusual nitrogenous bases are completely absent, but in this unusual nitrogenous bases are present, and that was for the purpose of capping 7-methyl guanosine. Now genetic material of the living organism, it is the genetic material of most of the living organism, and it is the genetic material of some viruses. Now RNA polymerase is also called DNA dependent RNA polymerase, because why it is called so DNA dependent? Because जो template strand we are using, it is DNA, that's why the formation of RNA is dependent on DNA. That's why the name of RNA polymerase is also DNA dependent RNA polymerase. RNA polymerase first is found in nucleolus and helps in the synthesis of ribosomal RNA. Hence nucleolus is called ribosome factories. Ribosome is mainly useful or mainly for the formation of proteins, but अब ये ribosome का बनते हैं. So nucleolus are the areas where we can say that ribosome are found and formed also there, and these are called as the factories of ribosomes. Now RNA polymerase second helps in the synthesis of messenger RNA, and RNA polymerase third helps in the formation of transfer RNA. Ribosomal RNA is the insoluble RNA. What is Prinbo box? Now it is a very important thing, Tata box and Prinbo box. So Prinbo box, it is a DNA sequence जो promoter region में present होता है. अगर ये जो Prinbo box है, that is a sequence of TATAATG, अगर ये sequence present होगा तभी we can say कि यहाँ से जो transcription है start होगा. अगर Prinbo box will not be there in the promoter region, then it will, in the case of prokaryotes we are talking, then there will be no transcription. So Prinbo box is used is a particular character or particular region where we can say that after it is found, only then the transcription can start in the prokaryotes, and Tata box is the region. It is also called as Goldberg-Haugnes box. It is a DNA sequence again, and it is found in the promoter region of the eukaryotes. अगर Tata box, that is the sequence of TAT, सो अगर ये सीक्वेंस प्रेजेंट होगा प्रोमोटर में तभी ट्रांसक्रिप्शन स्टार्ट होगा यूकैरियोट्स में, और जो प्रिंबो बॉक्स वाला है दैट इज TAT तभी ट्रांसक्रिप्शन स्टार्ट होगा इन द केस ऑफ प्रोकैरियोट्स. सो प्रिंबो एंड टाटा बॉक्स आर present in the case of prokaryotes and eukaryotes respectively. Now concept of gene. So gene is the basic unit of inheritance that expresses specific character. We have learned about this in the case of genetics also. So in the year 1857, Gregor Johann Mendel, he conducted some hybridization experiments with pea plants, and what he called them, he did not use the term genes, but he used the term factors for the genes. In 1909, a Danish botanist Johansen proposed that each proportion of a chromosome that control a phenotype is called a gene. So chromosome is made up of many different portions, and जो भी हर एक single portion which is responsible for the controlling of phenotype, that is the those characters which can be seen with our naked eyes. तो phenotype control करने के लिए जो भी character is responsible, that Johansen used the term for it was gene, and the Greek word for gene that means to give birth to. Now in the year 1941, George W. Beadle and Edward L. Tatum, that is Beadle and Tatum, they discovered that genes control the production of enzymes. So one gene, one enzyme hypothesis was given by Beadle and Tatum. According to them कि एक gene responsible होती है for production of one enzyme. So now this is specific कि one gene is specific for controlling one enzyme. So this was the theory called as one gene, one enzyme hypothesis. In the year 1944, Oswald T. Avery, he announced that DNA is the substance that was responsible for heredity. We have talked about it all this. Now according to him, Seymour Benzer proposed modern concept of gene while working on E. coli and T4 bacteriophage. According to him, the gene is cistron, recon, muton and replicon. What are these different things now? So cistron, it is the structural gene and it is functional unit of DNA molecule that codes for specific protein. Cistron is a part of gene and it is the structural gene. It is functional unit of DNA. So what is the functional unit of DNA? In DNA, not all units are functional. Some are there for just the structural purposes and not being used in any of the functional aspect. That's for those unit of the DNA that are of functional use and that they are also coding for some specific proteins. These are called as cistron. Now recon, it is a unit of DNA that undergoes recombination. So different works are allotted to different genes of a DNA. So cistron was for the production for the formation of specific protein. Recon was for that part which is used for undergoing recombination. Muton is that unit of the DNA that is capable to undergo mutation, and replicon, that this word you must have also heard in the last class that when I was talking about the DNA replication process. So replicon, it is the unit of DNA that undergoes pre-replication. So pre-replication, one replication fork was found and replicon was being used there when pre-replication complex was being formed, and that replicon is a gene unit of the DNA only, and it is for mainly starting the replication process in DNA. So these are the four unit of genes that are allotted different functions. Now genetic code. The 3 specific nucleotide sequence that codes for specific amino acid present in DNA is called genetic code. So the genetic code is a 3 alphabet actually, and that is those 3 alphabets are for a specific protein. So that is called as a genetic code. Now the codon, the 3 specific nucleotide sequence that codes for specific amino acid are present in mRNA, and it is called a codon. So whatever the 3 specific nucleotide responsible for formation of a particular mRNA, और जो भी वो 3 nucleotides होते हैं that are specific, and those specific nucleotides can be called as codon, which are responsible for specific amino acid which are present in the mRNA. Now anticodon, the 3 specific nucleotide sequence that codes for specific amino acid present in anticodon arm of tRNA is called anticodon. So what is anticodon arm? tRNA has 4 arms. Now first you see the structure. These are the 4 arms of tRNA. tRNA is single-stranded polynucleotide chain and it folds in some region and resembles as trifoliate leaf or of clover plant. So clover plant is there is a plant called clover plant. In Hindi it is called long. So what the structure of the tRNA resembles that. So यहाँ mostly it is having 4 arms. What are those 4 arms? Acceptor arms. This is the acceptor arms. यहाँ पे जो भी new addition होता है that is in that arm, in the acceptor arm. Second, D arm, loop because it is circular and it is closed. Then this is the anticodon arm and loop because again it is closed, and it is the T5C arm and loop. So tRNA single-stranded polynucleotide chain. It folds in some region and resembles a trifoliate or clover plant. Now it has 4 arms. What are the 4 arms? Amino acid binding site or acceptor arm. तो यहाँ पे amino acid की binding होगी and it will go on increasing. That's why it is called acceptor arm. Second is the T5C arm or loop. So rarely small 5th arm is present, and this is the 5th arm, and it is called as a variable arm. It can or cannot be present, so it is not always compulsory that it is present. The 5' end has methylated guanosine. This is the 5' end, and here we can see the presence of methylated guanosine, and the 3' end has 3 free nitrogen bases CCA. So what is the 3'? This is the 3' end of the acceptor arm, and here we can see there is presence of 3 free nitrogen bases, and this is CCA, and this marks the acceptor arm. This is specific for acceptor arm. Agar we are seeing a tRNA, it is not labeled and it is given that this is a CCA. So now we can say that yes, it is the acceptor arm. It is the 3' end of the tRNA. Now each arm has paired base pairs stem and unpaired base pairs loop. तो यहाँ जहाँ pairing होती है, there we can see there are particular stems, and when pairing is not there, then loops are formed. Amino acid acceptor arm has 7 base pairs and 3 unpaired bases CCA at 3' end. Therefore amino acid always binds to the adenine present at the 3' end. तो जो भी नया amino acid होगा वो यहाँ पे bind होगा because it is the present at the terminal most position. That's why any new amino acid that will be it will be binding to the adenine present at the 3' end. The T5C arm and loop contains unusual sequence of nucleotides as thymine, pseudouridine, that is 5. So this T5C, 5 stands for the for an unusual nucleotide, that is pseudouridine, and C for cytosine. So it helps to bind ribosome at the time of protein synthesis. This arm is mainly helpful for binding the ribosome when at the time of protein synthesis. mRNA binds to ribosome for the formation of protein synthesis. So this tRNA is helping in that purpose. And which arm? The T5C arm or loop. Now talking about this arm, the DHU arm and loop contains dihydrouridine. So these are the specific arms, and these are responsible for performing specific functions. It helps in recognizing specific amino acid activating enzymes amino acyl synthase. So amino acyl synthase is an enzyme which is used for formation of amino acids. So अब ये DHU arm recognize करती है specific amino acid activating enzyme, and when DHU arm will recognize, only then new amino acid will be formed. Now the anticodon loop. This was what we were talking about later on, that the anticodon loop contains 7 unpaired nitrogenous bases. They are जहाँ भी unpaired bases होंगे वहीं पे loop बनेगा. So now it have 7 unpaired bases. Among them 3 nucleotides acts as anticodon. तो इनमें से जो 3 nucleotides होते हैं, which they will work as anticodon and they are complementary to codon of mRNA. This is the specific character of the anticodon loop कि यहाँ जो 3 nucleotide होते हैं, they will work as anticodon. ये जो anticodon 3 हैं वो complementary होंगे to the codon of mRNA. So 3 anticodon of the tRNA will be complementary to the codon of mRNA. So now functions are, it carries specific amino acid towards the site of protein synthesis. So this is because it can bind to the mRNA. बिकॉज ये जो 3 इसके वी कैन सी द 3 एंटी कोडॉन्स, तो ये किससे कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री होते हैं, mRNA के कोडॉन से. तो नाउ दिस कैन बाइंड टू द mRNA और mRNA is responsible for the protein synthesis, so it can carry the specific amino acid toward the site of protein synthesis. Now again back to the genetic code. So what is anticodon? The 3 specific nucleotide sequence that codes for specific amino acid present in anticodon arm of tRNA is called as anticodon. So anticodons are complementary to codons of mRNA. What are the general features of genetic codes? These points are very important. With the general features, the genetic code is triplet. Each codon is made up of 3 specific nucleotides. That's why it is a triplet. So genetic code is always a triplet. A triplet is found when 3 nucleotides are combined together. Genetic code is universal. What does that mean? Each codon codes for the specific amino acid in all living organisms. So अगर एक codon एक amino acid को कोड कर रहा है for any living organism, तो हर living organism में same codon will be used for coding that same amino acid. So it is universal, present same everywhere. Genetic codons are non-overlapping, that is adjacent codons never share their nucleotides. अगर there are 2 amino acids present side by side, तो there will be no sharing among them, और दोनों के codons बिल्कुल different होंगे. There will be no overlapping. So the third point is genetic codons are non-overlapping. Genetic codon is commaless, so there is no gap present. That's why they are commaless. ये तीनों जो न्यूक्लियोटाइड प्रेजेंट होते हैं एक कोडॉन ट्रिपलेट कोडॉन को फॉर्मेशन के लिए, वहाँ कोई भी स्पेस नहीं प्रेजेंट होता है. दैट्स वाई दे आर नो कॉमाज इन बिटवीन. Genetic codon is degenerative in nature. What does that mean? More than one codon codes for single amino acid. So I told you that there is a termination codon. 3 termination codon was there. So that's why we can say कि एक particular amino acid को कोड करने के लिए there can be presence of more than one codon also. So this is the degenerative nature. So example, for valine we have 4 different codons which are responsible for valine, for the amino acid valine to code. So this is the degenerative nature, more than one codons coding for a single amino acid. These are the different complete 64 triplet codons present, and the names are given which codon is responsible for which amino acid. So you have to learn this UUC. So this is degenerative because more than one is responsible for the coding of one amino acid. So it is coding for phenylalanine. So this is leucine. Again, this is completely leucine, proline, histidine, glycine, arginine, serine, arginine, lysine, threonine, isoleucine, methionine, valine. So these are all the different codons that you have to learn. Now initiator codon. AUG is the initiator codon that initiates the protein synthesis and it codes for amino acid methionine. So the first codon is the initiator codon, और जो हम लोग का पहला amino acid है that will be methionine, and AUG, the initiator codon, will be responsible for coding that amino acid methionine. Then the terminator codon. Among 64 codons, 3 codons UAG, UGA and UAA does not code for any amino acid. So that's why these are the terminator codon or the nonsense codon, because these are present for no use, as they are not coding for any amino acid. Genetic code is unambiguous. What does that mean? Each code codes for specific amino acid and only one amino acid. So this is the example. The codon UUU, it codes for the amino acid phenylalanine only. Unambiguous means अगर एक codon कोड कर रहा है एक specific amino acid के लिए, तो now you can see, you must be getting confused that degenerative and unambiguous. तो यहाँ पे this is the thing that एक codon सिर्फ एक के लिए करेगा, but it can be the case that एक से ज़्यादा codon एक के लिए करें. मतलब see, UUU is only for amino acid phenylalanine, तो UUU किसी और को नहीं करेगा, but it can be possible कि कोई और codon, for example UAA भी इसी के लिए करे. That's the difference. UUU सिर्फ इसके लिए करेगा, but it can be a possibility that UAA can also responsible for the coding of amino acid phenylalanine. So this is the difference between unambiguous and degenerative nature of genetic codon. genetic codon is unidirectional, that is, codon reads only in the 5' to 3' direction. Now, Wobble hypothesis. Wobble hypothesis means there is the simple form of Wobble hypothesis is no use of third codon. So, in each third codon, that is the third nitrogenous base, is less specific and it is of no much value if we compare it to the first and second codons. Like this is the third codons. These two are very much important, and third is not very specific. That was given by Wobble. It is called as Wobble hypothesis or Wobble base. Now we have talked about the tRNA, the RNA that carries and transport activated amino acid to the site of protein synthesis. So transfer, because they are mainly used for transferring the amino acid to the site of protein synthesis. It represents about 10 to 15% of the total RNA in the cell. The polynucleotide chain is folded on itself to form a shape of clover leaf. And this was proposed by an American biochemist, Robert Hawley, in 1965, and he shared the Nobel Prize in Physiology in the 1968. We have talked about this. Now the rRNA, or the ribosomal RNA, is the structural and functional unit of ribosomes, and it represents nearly, so now you can see that about 80% of the total RNA is ribosomal RNA. So this is present in major amount. So these are the different for prokaryotes, and for eukaryotes they are different. So this is the RNA content. This you don't have to remember, just this is a Civetberg constant. So this is for the larger subunit hai, which is 50s, and this is the smaller subunit, it is 30s, and they combine to form assembled, this is the assembled ribosome 70s. तो इसमें यहाँ addition नहीं होगा, that is not कि अगर 50 है और यहाँ 30 है तो it will be 80. It is not addition, it is just a measure that is given when it was calculated by different methods during the studying of ribosomes. So this is 50s, larger subunit, we are talking about prokaryotes, and this is 30s for the smaller subunit. Again it is divided, 50s किस में divide होती है, 23s में. S is the Civetberg constant, it is the unit of defining a ribosome, and it is 5s. 50s again divided into 23s and 5s, and 30s divided into 16s. Now in the case of eukaryotes, we have 60s and 40s, and these two combine to form the 80s. So it is seen that eukaryotes have larger assembled ribosomes as compared to the prokaryotes. Now translation. What is translation? Decoding the coded information carried by mRNA into protein is called as translation. तो जो information mRNA carry कर रहा है in the coded form, उसको decode करना and changing it into the form of protein, that is called as translation. So the synthesis of a polypeptide chain on mRNA strand with the help of tRNA and ribosomes is called as translation, and translation takes place in cytoplasm. I told you that nucleus में transcription होता है, and nucleus and when the transcription is completed, it is transferred to the cytoplasm for the purpose of translation. Or now we talk about the required components for translation. First is messenger RNA, then transfer RNA, ribosomes, amino acids, amino acid synthase enzyme, peptide synthase enzyme, ATP, GTP, and magnesium ion. So translation we will be doing in the next class. This is a lengthy chapter, so we cannot do it in 1 or 2 classes. Thank you.